So my novel Arcadia is about a little boy who is born into a community, an intentional community, that eventually breaks apart, and the book traces sort of the reverberations of the community in his life into his 50s. And it's a book that came out of my pregnancy with my first son, Beckett, when I felt like we were on the verge of sort of human catastrophe, and so I had to get myself out of that by doing some research into idealism and idealists and happiness, and I fell in love with these groups of people who were able to get outside of the world that they knew and create their own world. And a lot of times those worlds failed, but it didn't matter. It was really the nobility of the effort that inspired me. And so I wrote this book sort of as a way to wrestle with the idea of bringing a child into the world, knowing that someday he was going to die. And I ended up realizing that it's a beautiful life anyway. You know, the effort is worth it. So I did a great deal of research, and I love research. You know, I go and I read as many books as I possibly can, but then I talk to as many people as I can also. I talked to about 150 people, and then I also lived for a little while, very short periods, in multiple intentional communities. And so I sort of got a feeling for the way that things ran and the way that things were in the 1960s and 70s. But it's also a writer's job to inhabit worlds that they don't necessarily know, and to try to bring them to life. So it was my job as a fiction writer to try to make it believable. It was just the beginning, and it was a very funny comparison because my book had nothing to do with Harry Potter, and I've gotten a lot of people over the years telling me this, which I knew. But I was so honored to have Stephen King read the book and then like it and then say something publicly about it. I mean, it was a huge gift, and it really helped that book come into the world in a beautiful way. So I'm very, very grateful to him. And now I just have to keep working and write other books. My only advice is that, you know, it's like any other practice. You just have to do it often and every day and as well as you can, and not give in to feelings that you haven't done well enough. You just keep trying. And no matter who you are, you will be rejected, and people won't like your work. And so you have to grow a thick skin, and you've got to learn how to be all right in your own work and love it for the sake of the work itself, not for publishing.